What's going on, guys? It's 3:13 in the afternoon. It's still the 4th of April 2024. One very frustrated Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. I may be out of my league at this point over here by saying some things that are going to be insane. And coming from a Democrat, I just wish we had the current day-to-day job loss information. I can only go as far as February or March if I'm lucky enough. I came across a news story, and it's going to be one of many in the state of California. While it was a golden idea to try to get people on almost on par or subpar, close to it, to have our wages match up with the rate of inflation, and the rate of the economy has been freaking people out left and right. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to see this damn stuff. Back in Lemoore, past few days, Foster's um, hamburger chain out there, one owner could not keep up and tried to do the number crunching on this one and found out that they couldn't keep the profits going. But it's not the profits, it's trying to keep the operational expenses going, keep the business viable, and have the employees paid at the same time. The owner decided to shut it down reluctantly. So the employees and management found out that they were locked out by the owner, and it was closed. It's just one of many. This is one of many. Speaking as a Democrat, if I'm going to say this politically at this point, while Governor Gavin Newsom's heart may have been in the right spot trying to alleviate the financial burdens that everybody under minimum wage or sub minimum wage was trying to struggle under, two or three jobs sometimes. I know a couple of people out here, Roseman, do the same thing. Two jobs at the same time, and sometimes it was difficult, even taking care of a family and being caregiver. If we actually had that happening out here with some of our jobs, then we're going to be shutting down operations left and right all over the place. Just because we couldn't keep up with the operational expenses. We have these mom and pops all over the place. They depended upon people working at barely the minimum wage level that they had for the state of California. And it sucked. And they wanted more help on this one. Probably stuck on the dependency of the state of California and the federal government for food stamps to keep up with an existence. But to go beyond a reasonable wage, they wanted to do a living wage. Sometimes it's just not that possible, especially in the economy we got right now as it is. And everybody starts pointing the finger to the president, but no, I blame it on the capitalism. I blame the capitalism. I point a finger at it. Because in capitalism, you have the greed, and then you have more greed. We need more money, but the money's not trickling down. The trickle down theory is still trying to be there, but it's not. It's not working. We tried this back in the 80s, and the economy tanked on that one. The economy royally tanked on that one. And right now, the economy's tanking. This is coming from a Democrat. who's seeing these kind of changes. We may have had a jobs report for the quarterly that may have pleased the current administration. But in the state of California right now, it ain't happening. It sucks, but we're having issues over this one because we don't know how to deal with this one. I mean, we should. We're trying to do as best as we can, but we're struggling. It makes me wonder, even with good intentions, the after effects. Some people may call it an adjustment period. This doesn't look or feel like an adjustment period, especially when we are dealing with a period that is, pardon me, that's going to be affecting economies everywhere and services everywhere. Even in towns like Roseman, it's about 20, 25 maybe, okay? Maybe less, but still, we're dependent upon businesses we have here. We're dependent upon services for, bare basics, actually. I mean, we got groceries. We got a few fast food places. We've got restaurants. We've got auto shops. We got a hardware store. We used to have cleaners, but you had to go out for that. We have, that's about it. Anything regarding medical, we're screwed on that one. We have national chain stores here. McDonald's, gas stations, the restaurants are basically that. But it's the ones that are not the national chains. I mean, I know Foster's seem to be a national chain, but when they're franchised, when they're run by individual owners who own a franchise for it, that's the thing we got to worry for. That's the thing I got to worry about, because we got a franchise and it's going to be potentially shut down or automatic to the point where there's only one or two people running it. And everybody else who tried to have a job over at McDonald's is gone. Gone. And what about Jack in the Box as well? Quality will suffer because you don't have enough quality control. Of course, you probably would have to have people fixing stuff. What happens if the owners had invested in technology to fix the food? Automatic. Automated systems here where hamburgers are loaded, put into machines, and they're cooking to machine perfection. Not individual taste, but machine perfection. And they'll go by numbers on that one. They have kiosks where people can go into the restaurant if they want to. The more encouraged to use phone apps. Well, phone apps take memory. They take storage on phone. I deal with a company called DoorDash. I deal with them on a constant basis. I deal with humans delivering food from a store that's about a couple of miles away. So I am dependent upon that. It takes a long while to get over to a store, but almost about an hour and a half. But I have to lug a basket, a small cart, and I have to travel with whatever I'm going to load up into it, and it's not going to be that easy. But I would have to lug it for 2 miles up and back. And it'll take about 3 or 4 hours. The DoorDash company, I deal with several people who compete. Whoever gets the bid first is going to head over to the place to go to, and then we get the food. We got a few other off-site delivery places that come into our town to get deliveries for people. Charge a little higher rate, but the prices I'm still seeing online are still increasing. That hurts. We have a national restaurant chain called Tom's out here in Richmond. Are they going to be laying off people or closing down the place because they can't pay the people in there? So that's going to be hard to deal with right there. We have gas stations, national chains. We got Fast Trip. We got Chevron. We got a couple of Chevrons. We've got an independent station running basically a soda place. Snacks, sodas. Run in, get your stuff, get out. Or maybe you need to get in there, grind a corner, and do that. We have one particular store that's not chain, at least, and they try to get as much as they can. Try to keep prices low, but smaller units. It's like dealing with almost of a Dollar General in quantity and sometimes quality. Kind of sucks a little bit, but it's around the corner. There's a small meat shop in the area. Some people actually try to get meat over there because meat's expensive over in Albertsons. We used to have a restaurant. It used to be part of the Crazy Autos until they got changed over to another operation called Jay's Hideaway, and then they shut down about 1 or 2 years ago. So now that's empty. We used to have pot shops all over the place until we actually had state and fed county cracking down. So very limited that way as well. We'll have food trucks roll through in our town. In certain areas that they'll have Mexican, Italian, even Creole if necessary. There was one particular place that actually was a burger joint, then turned into a Mexican joint, and turned into another Mexican joint. We have a pizza place that's shut down, closed up shop. We've got two major chains competing still, Domino's and Pizza Hut. We got an Italian restaurant about 2 or 3 miles away that does delivery through DoorDash. Prices have all gone up. We got the Taco Bell chain. They're going to have fun. If they're barely making a profit over there, they're going to really have fun on that one. I said before, Jack in the Box. It's a Jack in the Box and gas station all in one. People can try getting fast food if they can. But most of their shops are already shut down except for if they have grocery convenience. And they'll be open 24/7. So at least you can get some kind of meal out of it. Sandwiches and stuff. That's what we have. That's all we have out here. We got a few, I think we got 2 or 3 Thai places that'll serve Cantonese if necessary. We got maybe 2 or 3 Mexican places. I mean restaurants too, I think. Prices haven't changed that much, but they will. They'll jump. Most part, we deal with delivery services coming into town to get the stuff from Lancaster, if necessary. Lancaster is about 12 to 15 miles away. They do have. There is a charge for the delivery. That also includes fuel because of transportation. Now we have to deal with that, don't we? That's scary enough. When it comes down for bulk groceries, I know we got Costco on the outskirts of Lancaster, on the south end of it. Well, we have other places almost in the same location that'll do it. But for the other part, we've got Amazon, and because of the storage capacity they've got, I get bulk items from there that's not refrigerable. If I get the perishables, it's going to be from the locals. But if I get the bulk items such as dry goods, beans, rice, cereals, soups, canned stuff, canned food, dry milk, powders for orange juice, Gatorade, that kind of stuff. I'll get tortillas if I have to, flour if I have to, bulk items of pancake mix or dried egg. Through this stuff, I can survive. Just won't be healthy, but I'll survive. I won't enjoy fresh fruit like getting bananas from the local store or salads. Fresh hot food, I have to depend upon the restaurants or even a store, Albertsons, and see if they've got the hot food available and if they've got any personnel over there. If they are constantly making profit, if they are constantly getting a turnover going on with the profit and not personnel turnover, I may be able to continue on doing business with them. But I got no choice. I got no other place to get groceries. I have a liquor store that deals with resale all the time, and they have to go across different towns to get the stuff to bring it back over to Roseman to do their shop. Not that no fresh fruit. Or you're lucky enough to get fresh bananas. If you didn't, no, not fresh bananas. About 2 or 3 day old bananas or something like that. But they're still fruit. Got canned fruit, got canned vegetables, and you got canned starches. You got your basic dairy being delivered on a constant basis, sodas, alcohol. All these places will be affected. And I don't know whether or not we're going to be losing a liquor store or two because of the situation. This is what's scary. Guys have been here for a hell of a long while before their minimum wage kicked in, and are they making enough to keep the place open? Because if I had a desire to go back over to a liquor store, that I've been going there for a hell of a long while, but I've been dependent upon Amazon and DoorDash for my groceries. I hadn't been over that place in almost a year. And what happens if they're shut down? Then where do the people are going to be getting their milk from? Because sometimes the milk may be old in different places. They hadn't recirculated their inventory. How would you like getting sour milk, or a gallon of sour milk, or even a quart of sour milk? It's not healthy, and that's terrifying. But this is what we're dealing with in Roseman. How about the other communities out there? Smaller ones than us. Even Mojave will be having issues. Even Boron will be having issues. Maybe Ridgecrest, if we're lucky enough, survive it, but maybe not. Boron, they got small mom and pop places over there. What happens if they lose it? If some of the places that they depend upon for fast food and they're gone because they're shut down because they couldn't afford it. How about the restaurants who are just privately owned? Diners that truckers would go to, or travelers. That's what I'm worried about out here. When Newsom made that damn proposal and he was going to get it slammed through, there was an outcry. There was an outcry out there, not from the business, but also from some of the other people. But there was a 50-50, I think, during that time of if it was going to work or not. I mean, yeah, it was a good idea to raising the minimum wage, but $20 seemed fantastic. But then they tried to do the economics at this point over here, and then it's, well, the orders are too damn cheap. Well, you also have to look at the economics, and you have to look at the numbers on this one. Just how much were they pulling in month per month, year by year basis, in order to satisfy the business needs? It's all a numbers game. It's all economics. It's not government. It's capitalism. It's government. It's not government. It's capitalism. It's a market environment we're dealing with here. When you have more demand and less supply, yeah, prices are going to go crazy at this point over here. But what happens if they got an adequate supply with an adequate market, but the prices still go up? Then we hear it that the guys running the markets at this point over here, shareholders and stockholders, and chairman of the board, they want more money. They want their pockets padded, so they jack the prices up. We heard about that past few years when the egg prices went up for no apparent reason, when there wasn't even a bird flu, but the prices went up. We still had a steady supply, but sometimes it seemed like the supply was shorting itself out. When I keep hearing about shorting out, what was the market trend? Well, why was the materials not being produced or being supplied adequately? People go crazy over the damn gas. They still blame the federal government on that one. No, it's market. It's market. Always has been. It also depends upon if the state and federal can actually get off their dead asses and do something about market prices or maybe stabilization laws or programs. Nope. We played politics over the past few years on this one. So nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. That's what happens when you observe a hell of a lot too much crap out there. When I go online sometimes for the Amazon stuff, there are sections regarding pricing. Just before checking out, there'll be notifications of some of the stuff I constantly use that the computer systems keep track whether or not there's going to be an increase or decrease of funding. And sometimes I'll see it on the food prices. You know they also take EBT? They take food program. During the COVID, this was necessary. This was necessary. I was running it off of not Social Security, but off of EBT because we had the money coming in for the federal government. Therefore, it was supplying me with enough food to last a month or two. And sometimes I had to make more just to make sure if there was going to be about 3 or 4 months advantage, as in canned, as in dry goods. These days I have to keep it down. I have to keep it tight. It's not as fun, but it is. I don't go out as much as some of the places would like me to do. If I had the money for it, fine. I look at a hamburger that used to be about $1 25 years ago, almost 30. These days, $3 for a hamburger, a plain hamburger. I do the math in my head, and I'm thinking, smaller stuff like that, I could get the frozen stuff. Do the calculations myself, about 10, 12 in a package. That more it makes than what I can get from a fast food place. Besides, with fast food, you need potatoes, right? Well, let me get a bag of potatoes. So what I would have is cheeseburgers. I'd get packages of cheese, shredded or sliced. And get that going. I could fix hamburgers at home. I could do tacos at home. I look at the pricing of the groceries, and I could do the bulk stuff at home. I can get me Mexican food if I know how to do the tacos right, and if I know how to do the burritos right. Soft tacos are easy enough. Enchiladas, well, that's a different story altogether. How do you do that on a stovetop? Well, I have to learn how to do that one. But it'll be done. Or stir fry rice. Stir fried rice. All I need is the ingredients and know how to do it on one particular pan. Okay, no problem. We'll do that. I got stuff for that. I can work with that. As long as I got the materials necessary. And I'll get them from the stores or from Amazon, that one. I'm not plugging Amazon. I'm using it as an example that I use. I don't do Walmart and I don't do Target. They don't. Walmart does do groceries, but only within their area. Amazon does the bulk stuff, and I depend upon them more than I do Walmart. Besides, I already got enough personal issues with Walmart right now as it is. Long stories, hell of a lot of videos on this one. Since Gavin Newsom put out the helpful law, the problem is it's not helpful. While it may be congratulated through Democrats, this is one Democrat. It may be among others. I don't know how many. May think this law was overachieving, too ambitious. If there's like maybe 15 an hour, would that make a difference? $5 difference? Less? Would that make a hell of a lot of difference than what we got? Maybe. Maybe we'll keep the rent over the head, the roof over the head by paying rent. $20 is if we think we've got a golden economy to support it. But you have to look at the economy in your own damn neighborhood, whether or not you're going to be able to do it or not. If we're talking about Palmdale or we're talking about Lancaster, they've got the numbers. They got most private, but they also got high turnovers in their area. We're talking about smaller communities in the state of California. We're talking about maybe about 10 to 15,000, or maybe less. Maybe less. If there are any smaller communities that depend upon the the small mom and pops like crazy, and what happens if they go out of business? Where the hell are people are going to be getting their stuff at? I'll be sending this one over to Gavin Newsom and this letter, and just to let him know, Governor, your heart may have been in the right place, but your head was up your ass. You should have been doing the number figuring. I mean, you should have been crunching it on this one. If you were taking poll after poll over the phones, what you should have been doing is taking polls from the different businesses, the smaller mom and pop places, and some of the franchises that you're going to be affecting left and right. Having a Foster's in Lemoore, that's way away from Roseman, but we have a Foster's here. We have a private owner doing a franchise. That place is a hangout in our town. One of the hangouts that we have. People loved the burgers when we actually had a different owner and different cooks over there. These days, they're still complaining about it. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost that place. Right next to it, we got a coffee joint. Privately owned. Privately run. I'm not quite sure how much business they're going to maintain to keep up with the coffee sales. We've got a Starbucks. Both inside Albertsons and outside Albertsons. So much is the coffee going to be draining people on that one. We've got auto parts dealership commercial. We're going to be going on automatic on that one. We've got a 7-Eleven. How many people are going to be able to afford to be putting on the payroll there? This is a Democrat talking about this shit because it's going to be affecting businesses out here. We have people online constantly in our town, in our Facebook communities, looking for the next place to work at. Because it's drying up. We wanted to get businesses out here, but with a $20 an hour pay hike, golden and magical as it is, unfortunately, it ain't reality. And it sucks having two or three jobs at the same time. I know I did it a long time ago. Different markets, different political atmosphere. And it sucked. But it was survival. I had two full-time jobs at one time. Taking care of a family, I was full-time enough, especially when you have a disabled mother, and then working full-time at a company that was about to kill you. Damn, they did. But I've been at it for 5 years, and then I get killed, and then no longer working. But I'm seeing people struggling left and right. Said before about that neighbor friend of mine. He's got a family. He's been struggling of bouncing from job to job to job around here. And with the increase, it should help him out with the finances. But the problem is, we're going to be shutting down jobs because of it. Because if the market is not there, if we don't have the steady influx of customers to keep the business running, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm fearing. Because if we don't have the constant flux of businesses, we're going to have them shut down or go automated, and then they'll have to find new jobs or try to find another way to work in the company that's they'll be able to stay where they are. I don't know how the hell they're going to do that. What are the pizza joints we have over here? Domino's, I think, was going to be running into that situation. They're going to be subcontracting. The delivery drivers used to be part of Domino's, but now independent operators, which will be under the radar of the 20. The 20, if you're already established. This ain't the case now. So everything will have to be under independent and contracting and under the radar for the $20. Some of these businesses are going to have to be doing that because then they'll give them more freedom and more luxury whether or not they're going to be hiring more people or turning things automatic at that point. Automated. Imagine going up to a damn car to pick out your damn pizza or grocery run. Because now you got the electronic robotic pieces of crap out there. I prefer dealing with a human being. As much as I like the technology to a point, but it's getting worse and worse because we are getting worse and worse. How's that for a cheerful thought for Thursday afternoon? Yeah, real cold.